Got Your Eers On is brought to you by Tactical Legion 9.
All right, everybody, hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Got Your Eers On. Guido here, along with Scoot,
Bing Bong,
and Johnson.
Are you ready for a 10:15 kickoff, Guido?
Yes, WVU going bowling in the middle of the night, playing in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl on December 28th at a 10:15 kickoff time. I went out, guys, when I heard about this. Super excited, went out and bought about 6 cases of Red Bull because it's going to be a tough one to get through.
Scoot, we may need to be Folger soldiers for this game.
It's like watching a West Coast team is what we're going to be like.
Yeah.
We're going to be like West Coast team fans.
That's right. It'll be like Pac-12 After Dark for us on December
going to go
28th.
out and buy the whole family Guaranteed Rate Bowl t-shirts.
Well, I mean, obviously.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
What is Guaranteed Rate? Can I just be honest? And is it like loan? Is it like Quicken Loans?
I think it's a mortgage company or something.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
like a mortgage company or something. So this is very similar to that, what was it, 2016, it was 2015 year, but I think we played it in January, that Cactus Bowl against the Sun Devils.
Has it been that long?
It's the same bowl.
Yeah, it's the same. Oh, is it the same bowl? It is the same bowl. So,
I didn't know it had been that long, though. 2015, 2016.
That was Skylar Howard.
Skylar's last game, I think, right?
yeah,
and I believe
Skylar and Shaq Petaway were the MVPs of the
Yeah,
combo
Shaq
MVPs of that
Petaway.
game.
Remember Shaq Petaway, Scoot? That was actually a super fun game. Remember,
he had,
remember
over 530
no one
yards or something.
Yeah, like
Skylar Howard did.
no one played any defense. And
Yes, final score of that game 43-42, and it ended at like 2:15 a.m. East Coast time.
Well, and I think it was a Todd
How do I
Graham.
feel about that?
I think it was a Todd Graham coached Sun Devils team, right? Remember, he was at Pitt.
Yes.
Then he went.
Yep.
Then he went there abruptly, and so that was kind of nice to beat something related to Pitt.
Yeah, so we're back in a bowl game, guys, that is on the other side of the country, but we're playing Minnesota, and I don't know much about the Golden Gophers. I know they've won a couple of games. They beat Wisconsin to finish the season. I think most importantly, or what stood out to me when I looked at it real quick, guys, they pretty much trounced Maryland halfway through their season. So makes me a little nervous, Johnson.
They're coached by Bella Fleck. Is that right?
PJ Fleck.
PJ Fleck.
Bella Fleck plays the banjo. PJ Fleck coaches football.
I think Bella Fleck opens for Dave Matthews often.
Well,
Yes.
I do know you're a big DMB fan, so. I mean, the Gophers were 8-4, Guido. They did beat Maryland in October. I think most notably they beat Wisconsin here to finish out the season. Otherwise, when you kind of just what I recall scrolling through their schedule, I mean, not to take anything away from them, 8 wins in a Big Ten schedule is I would take it, right? But they kind of any one of note they played, I feel like they got kind of worked over a little bit. But they beat the people they were supposed to beat. I think Maryland fell into that category.
Wisconsin game. Wisconsin was pretty good this season.
Oh yeah. And that's kind of how I think Iowa backed into the game against Michigan this weekend because of that Wisconsin loss. So the Big Ten was kind of a mess. Gophers they finished 3rd in the West, which I don't know if that used to be the leaders or
Legends.
Remember, it was like legends and leaders, and then everyone made fun of them, and it's now. So I think anyway, Minnesota was 3rd. They finished 3rd in the Big Ten West, 8-4. And there really isn't, other than that Maryland game, Guido, I don't think there's a whole lot of overlap, anywhere else to do a comparison. So it's kind of an unknown quantity, really.
Yeah, we'll spend some time looking at it here in the next couple of weeks and break it down for us before we get into the game. And we'll talk bowl season because, I mean, there's some interesting, this college football playoff's going to be interesting this year. I'd like to see Michigan, Georgia, Alabama, Cincinnati. We'll see what happens. Poor Cincinnati, I think, is in for some. They're cruising for a bruising, as Scoot would say.
That's right.
So we'll break that down as we get into bowl season. I do want to talk a little WVU football, though, as we fire up into bowl season. Neil Brown came out today and did a quick press release saying he's not sure who's going to opt out, but there will probably be some opt-outs for the bowl game, and those names will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. A couple of names we do know, Johnson. Vandarius Cowan has decided to enter the transfer portal. Kind of a big letdown for WVU. You know, Spot last year, you know, he there was some glimmer of hope when you saw him in the 2020 season. This year, it just never clicked for him.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad, really, that story, because if you recall when he came to us transferring in from Alabama, everyone was super excited, and I think he himself, unfortunately, went through a lot of injury. You know, he had like 2 injury-plagued seasons. This season, he actually, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, played the most. Disappointingly, he had probably the most targeting call I've seen. Against Kansas State. That kind of is how he ended his season. So, yeah, Vandarius Cowan departing. We also got an announcement from Parker Moore, Guido, that he was announcing he's leaving as well.
Yeah, so, you know, and again, you kind of expect, Scooty, this time of year. You're going to see guys come in. I mean, we've picked up a couple of guys off the transfer portal. We've lost a couple of guys to the transfer portal. Nothing that, I guess, in my mind has been super earth-shattering.
Well, what's concerning for me, it's not so much who's leaving and why they're leaving. It's more like when they're leaving, right? So the fact that these guys have decided to leave without trying to finish the season out, and I get it, the early bird maybe gets the worm. You get your name out in the transfer portal, maybe it helps you get picked up sooner rather than later. And I don't know, maybe there is some academic, I dare I say, there might be some sort of academic ramifications as to when you put your name in the transfer portal. If you're trying to get to a school for the spring semester, maybe you have to look at doing this before you get to the bowl game. But I don't know if you're a coach looking at a guy, do you say, man, I'd love to get Vandarius Cowan. I know that he took the last 2 weeks off, you know, from his regular season. Is that the kind of guy, you know, is that in the back of a coach's mind? Or is he thinking, well, it was just a bad situation for him, I'm going to take this kid at his word? For me, it's not, I don't know if there's like an indictment on somebody's character depending on when they declare for the transfer portal. Obviously, each situation is different, but it's something of concern for me. I think I would want to get to the bottom of why somebody decided to not finish their season out and declare.
Yeah, I mean, I always think it's, you know, Johnson, you could chime in on this, but I always think there's always a tail to the story. They didn't connect with their coaching staff. There were issues. You know, when you have 80 some odd guys in a locker room, there are going to be guys that are unhappy. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't necessarily think it's program based. It's not like we're seeing this, you know, mass exodus. I think there's still a lot of guys who are sticking with it. We're seeing some big names and guys from Syracuse and Clemson come to the program. So, I mean, time will tell at this point. I do think that the bowl game is going to be super important, and who opts in and opts out for this bowl game will be also pretty telling.
Well, Scoop, back to your point that you were saying, I know for coaching, like, so all of this stuff lately, I don't know if it's so much for the transfer portal, but I know the NCAA sort of causes a lot of this chaos because of their scheduling of dates, like when recruiting can open up and stuff like that. So you see some of this weird, like Brian Kelly and, you know, Lincoln Riley and stuff, I think, because schools don't feel like they can wait, you know, it like,
and that's
like
right.
if you
should have thought of that. December 15th is what the signing date.
Yeah. So like if you're waiting around, you know, then when you finally get a guy in place, he really has no time left to recruit, which I think is so silly, isn't it? I mean, why wouldn't they adjust those dates? But anyway, for the transfer portal, it almost seems like every person that enters the portal has some kind of Guido, it feels like a backstory to each one of those guys. And someone that I think did so, you know, not that it's not significant, because I think every movement, you know, you can always sort of subjectively build a case for how impactful that is. I think, you know, it's too bad we can't get Vandarius Cowan at his best and have him playing with us. I think Parker Moore, you know, lost his job, I think, Guido, to Zach Frazier, maybe, who's
Wyatt Milam.
Wyatt Milam, that's right. But those guys are having a great, you know, they're having loads of playing time now. So he's probably thinking, I want to go somewhere else where I can get more time. So in my mind, those all fall into place. One that opened my eyes that we texted about a little bit earlier this week was Sam Brown leaving the receiver corps. You know, we had been talking about next year, we were really thinking the receiver core continues to, that unit's now been together a bit, got a bunch of games under their belt, probably going to be a strong part of our offense, strong unit on the team next year. So that one caught me a little bit by surprise. I mean, best of luck to him wherever he goes, but that one was a bit surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was surprising, but I think also in some ways maybe it wasn't, in the fact that I think because so many of the guys are staying around, because you've got Braceford Wheaton, because you're still going to have Winston Wright, you've seen Prather grow a lot this season. Maybe Sam Brown looked at it and said, man, I might not see the field much next year at WVU. I better look somewhere else. And I think that's what you see a lot now in college sports. And like Scooty said, when the transfer, these guys want to get to their school. They want to get some credits in. They want to get ready for spring practices. So go as early as you can, so. And
maybe I would say the Prather emergence is probably what pushed Sam Brown.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Yeah, that's a great point.
Prather hadn't played all that much the first half of the season.
And he's really blossomed here lately.
Right.
Yeah. So other things that happened WVU football-wise, one big thing is Big 12 announced their all-conference teams. Congratulations to Dante Stills, first team defense all-conference for WVU. Zach Frazier, second team, or whatever they call it. And then there were a bunch of honorable mentions. Anything in there, Johnson, that stood out to you? I mean, we kind of knew Dante was going to be first team. He kind of deserved to be first team. I was kind of surprised Zach Frazier didn't get that first team nod.
I was too, and I thought there were some other, Chandler Semedo actually tweeted out after this came out like a shake my head tweet. And I think there were some other guys like that. We had such a strong defensive line. I thought maybe some of those names would pop up. And then I also thought maybe Casey Legg, for one thing, would get a mention. We didn't see him. I think Dicker, the kicker, was first team. I think maybe Austin McNamara, the kid from Texas Tech, who both are deserving, don't get me wrong, but I thought Casey Legg with his performance this season might pop up on that
But
team.
In good news, I mean, a lot of honorable mentions in that list for WVU, including Letty Brown and Josh Chandler Semedo. Braceford Wheaton was in there, and Winston Wright from the receiving corps. So you see two of those receivers, again, sticking around next season. So that's a good thing, including, and another one, Wyatt Milam got an honorable mention as well. So that's kind of awesome to see, again, true freshman really sort of, blossoming in that role on the offensive line. And we keep saying it, I think there's a lot of issues on the offensive line that we saw this year, but as that group plays together more, I think, and continues to grow, it could be, the sky's the limit for them. I mean, you got to think next year, you got the oldest guy on that offensive line, I think, is a junior, so
yeah.
It'll be interesting. And you got guys like Zach Frazier, who technically could take his free year, and this year could have been his true freshman year. So you never know how long these guys are going to stick around as well. Another thing that happened this week, a lot of WVU football stuff happened this week. The 2022 schedule came out, and I have to tell you, Kansas week 2 kind of threw me off a little bit, Scooty.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't know why they would throw a conference game so early in the schedule. We're not used to seeing that. We usually see the 3 non-conference first, and then the conference stuff. The SEC does it kind of weird. Like they'll play a lot of conference games, and then they'll throw in their like FCS, Alcorn State or somebody
like
weird.
Week 9 or something.
Yeah. And you're kind of like, what are you doing? Like it's almost like a weird bye week with uniforms on or something.
No, I know. And Guido, I know this has happened before, like over the years in schedules, but I had the same reaction, like that week 2. That's just so weird. Now, thankfully it's Kansas. I mean,
yeah.
I guess. I mean, I think Kansas is improving, and it makes me a bit nervous every game makes me nervous if I'm being honest, but I think at least it's Kansas. I mean, you go Kansas Towson in between Pitt and Virginia Tech, so maybe you get a bit of a respite, in between 2 big emotional games. I don't know. And then you're right into the meat of the Big 12 with Texas and Baylor. But I think it is a little bit of an odd curveball, but I think no one's going to be thinking about that. Everyone's got September 3rd circled, and they're ready for that game. I know I'm ready for it, so it's going to be a fun opener. I hope it's a fun opener. It's going to be an emotional opener, if nothing else.
I'm excited to see us pack Heinz Field with a bunch of WVU fans, which I think will likely happen. If you get a chance, check out our buddy Jake Lance from SmokingMusket.com. Wrote his super early predictions for next season. He has West Virginia winning 8 games next season in his predictions.
That is strong.
I mean, he's a confident man. That Jake Lance, he's a confident man. We'll see what happens, but he does have us starting off 4-0 against Pitt, Kansas, Towson, and Virginia Tech. So, which I is not unrealistic. Pitt, I got to tell you, this might be the first time in a long time. I mean, that I'm nervous about Pitt.
No, Jake has us losing to Virginia Tech actually. So he's got he's got a 3-1 start.
Oh, okay.
I think we're more likely to beat Virginia Tech than we are Pitt.
Well, now keep in mind, I don't think you're going to have Kenny Pickett back next year.
No, he'll be gone.
Now that's not to say they just won the ACC championship. Credit to them.
He'll be the first quarterback taken maybe in the draft.
I'm sure they have
or behind Matt Corral,
other weapons, but I mean, at least we kind of dodged that bullet because that's scary if you have to face him. I think he's genuinely good. And then, Virginia Tech, even though Jake's picking a loss, I think more because you're trying to go into Blacksburg and get a win. That's just tough, admittedly. But I think with them starting over, they're resetting with a new coach. I'm holding out some hope there's enough chaos there that we can steal an away game.
So we'll see what happens. Check out Jake Lance at SmokingMusket.com for that article. One last WVU football thing, guys. I know we had talked about it on the show, and Scooty had brought it up too. Jordan Leslie interviewed for the Troy job, and so there were a lot of us that thought maybe he would end up there, but ends up not getting the position and stays at WVU, Scoot.
Yeah, to be honest, I thought he was going to be chosen. They've opted to go with Neil Brown's old offensive coordinator, whose name escapes me. But
John Summerall?
Not related to Pat.
No, spelled differently, I think.
Yes, but he is a big reason why I think Neil Brown had success at Troy. Is what I believe.
Yeah. So, but happy to see Jordan Leslie stay around. I mean, I think again that helps WVU keeping that coaching staff together. Only good things can happen from that for WVU. Let's say. All right, guys. Let's take a break from football this week now and move over to basketball here in segment 1. And WVU plays 2 games this week against Bellarmine and Radford, and kind of destroys both teams, beating Bellarmine 74-55 and beating Radford 67-51. Johnson, I think it's the tale of 2 games in a lot of ways, and I'll tell you this: I think WVU, handled Bellarmine pretty good, struggled at the beginning of that game, but was able to kind of kick things into gear. Where I think the difference with the Radford game is, I think I've never seen Huggins do this much. He took the pedal off of the gas. Like, he was like, put it in neutral, let's coast for a little bit.
Right.
I don't want to, and I tweeted I sent out to you guys on the text machine, like, I feel like he didn't want to beat Darius Nichols that bad.
Yeah, well, it kind of felt like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It really, I mean, come on. At one point, I'm watching the game. At one point, I look up, and you've got Taj Thweet, Seth Wilson, and Okonkwo all on the court at the same time. And there was still like 7 minutes left in the game.
And Seth Wilson had 17 minutes, 14 minutes? I mean, he played significant minutes.
Played significant time. Well, I think going into Bellarmine.
I think
Bellarmine.
Okay. Well, I had developed a high anxiety going into this game, right? Because Tony Caridi tweeted out a YouTube video that kind of detailed the Bellarmine story. They run this offense, or they try to run this offense where they get a ratio of 1 pass per dribble, so a 1-to-1 dribble pass ratio. And so I had worked myself into a mental frenzy that I was going to sit down that evening and just be like tortured into, because we were coming off Eastern Kentucky shooting the lights out from 3, right? So I pictured this like Eastern Kentucky clone shooting lights out from the outside and masterfully passing the ball. Scoot, none of that really happened, to be honest. Probably credit to our defense and pressure, really. But they weren't able to get that going. And I thought that game went, really kind of went par for the course. I don't think that was ever in danger. One thing I noted was I thought Paulie Polacap continues to give such good energy when he comes into the game. I just continue to like that guy. I think he had a kind of a crowd, kind of got the crowd going on a dunk at one point. So anyway, I thought, those contributions were super in the Bellarmine game against Radford. I thought, unfortunately, I love Darius Nichols, right? He's one of my favorite ever Mountaineers, certainly one of my favorite ever point guards. I think he's got his work cut out for him, Scoot, at Radford, because they are just simply not good. And like Guido said, it gave Hugs sort of like the ability. I think at one point he subbed in five, like he got frustrated with the starting five and he was like, hey, guess what? Line change.
Yeah.
He just subbed 5 new guys in. Like the guy selling hot dogs came in for a little bit. So, I think he was able to do that and probably, really see who wanted to be on the court. Hugs has been saying lately, and Guido, you're probably going to mention it with Okonkwo. He kind of had a quote earlier, after the game, like, hey, yeah, and you know what? Some of these big guys that are getting minutes, maybe they don't get minutes anymore if they don't put the work in, kind of like putting them on notice with Okonkwo's play. So I thought that was just really interesting.
Here's my issue with some of this. Having coached, obviously not college basketball, but coached basketball, high school basketball, middle school basketball, and I've coached high school soccer. Having done that, when you play a team where you are so much superior to the other team, couple things can happen. One, guys can start to pick up bad habits or drop back into bad habits because they're not being challenged and their focus isn't as strong.
Kind of play into the level,
right?
Maybe
Another issue you might have is that you then take into your next game after that. Hey, we just crushed this team, and we were going at about 50%, and you're not playing that same team the next game. You're playing one that's much better. And so my concern being, knowing those two things, is we play UConn next. That's like we just went from playing a middle school basketball team to playing a college team is kind of what the difference is going to be like. And that's a concern. Yep. And for me, I get it. You're trying to get guys time. You're trying to sort things out and see who's going to give effort and who's going to rotate well with other people and who's playing good defense. But are you really getting ready for UConn?
Yeah, right.
Well, and here's where I'll go against you, Scoot. And I think that this is what makes Bob Huggins such a great coach, a Hall of Fame coach, if you will. Everything he does and says is for a reason. He is 100% like pointed every time on what he says. And like, so the Okonkwo thing that Johnson was talking about, Okonkwo plays, 5 minutes. He gets 2 rebounds, I think, in there. He's got 2 points, an awesome dunk. The Coliseum went crazy for it all. He comes out after the game and he talks about, well, if Okonkwo can rebound and score, then other guys are going to get fired. Is pretty much what he said, But I think that, and
you're fired.
You're fired. I think that's his way of trying to light a fire underneath of some of these guys who were probably kind of coasting out there against, that Radford team because they knew it was Radford. And so
I don't doubt it.
He's got to figure out a way to get them ready for this game against UConn, because UConn is a juggernaut of a team coming in. They're definitely looking better, playing better than we're playing right now. So he's got to do something to get us ready for that game.
And Scoot, I have to think that UConn right now is watching film and saying like, okay, let's stop this Taz Sherman guy. I don't know who this guy is, but he averages 25
Either
a game.
That,
he comes
or
in.
They're saying
now Sean McNeil didn't play in this game, so it probably magnified it, but like Taz Sherman's the only one getting up shots even. Not only is he the only one scoring it, if you look down the box score, Scoot, from Radford, like Jalen, Cottrell, Kedrian, Kobe started. They all took 2, 4, 3 attempts. They're not even really getting up shots. Taz has 27 points. So it's kind of a weird, there certainly isn't any balance right now.
So if you're a coach and you're going to be coaching against WVU, I think there's two different mindsets. There's one that's either we stop Taz Sherman and we beat this team, or we let Taz Sherman score, and if we can stop everybody else, Taz Sherman can't beat us by himself.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
And so
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, he can score 30 points, but then
right, if the other guys can't do anything, then big whoop, you don't need to worry about.
And I'm not saying they can't, but Guido, it's an odd dichotomy of play right now.
What's going to hurt us is our size, right? So when we play these teams,
it's weird.
UConn's got several guys 6'9" or taller. They are tall, and I think we are not. Now, I say that if we can get Okonkwo into a rotation, if we can get Seni Njai, who's starting to see more time, and Huggins has been very effusive. Is that a good word? I don't even know if that's a word.
Yeah,
wow.
I like it.
He's been very effusive.
That's good.
Get your dictionaries out.
Guido, hold on. Let's appreciate Scoot for effusive.
Thank you,
Scoot. That was good.
Huggins has been very effusive about Seni Njai lately, saying that he's been putting in the time. Listen, I'll take
Seni's big.
Yeah,
Scoot. Seni's a dude.
I'll take
Seni's a dude.
10
out
minutes
there.
of Seni Njai at 6'10", 240 or whatever he is.
Yeah, guy's a dude.
We need that size. We need and he's listen. Seni Njai, he's not going out to the perimeter to shoot. If he does, he's coming right back out. So he's going to be in the paint, at least taking up some space, maybe altering some shots. I don't think he's a big time shot blocker, but if he can just stick his long arms up, he's going to make guys have to change their shots.
Well, you saw him in Radford. He came in. He played 6 minutes during that game in Radford, and he caught 4 rebounds in 6 minutes. So I mean, that's where he needs to be. That's why we need somebody like Seni Njai, because rebounding wise, that's going to be an issue. And like you said, Scoot, when you have a big team like UConn come in, they are gonna out get us on the boards, and especially if they get a lot of offensive rebounds, and that's what kills you every time.
Sanogo for UConn is the real deal.
Yeah,
that guy's a
6'9". He's 6'9", 240. He's averaging almost 16 points a game. He's averaging over 6 rebounds a game. So yeah,
he had
he's
30
a beast.
points in that one game in the battle for Atlantis. I mean, he's a serious player. We're gonna have our hands full with him.
Yeah, they've beaten Guido Auburn in double overtime. They narrowly lost to Michigan State. They beat Virginia Commonwealth. They're 8-1. They've got some quality wins on them.
Well, and I think that's the other thing, is that they've played They've played more quality teams, I should say, than we've played. And it's got to be really hard for a team after playing a week like this to come and now have to face a 17 rank UConn coming into the Coliseum, and RJ Cole averaging 17 points a game for them. So that's a really strong UConn team.
Yeah, I just think the only thing I worry about right now, number one, is it's gonna be bad if Sean McNeil can't go. We don't really know. The last I read,
Lower
it's
back.
an apparent back injury. Yeah, it doesn't sound terrible, but it was enough to hold him out of this game as a precaution. So hopefully he can go. I would hate to not have his ability on the court
I'm hoping
against a
it's
team
just
like
spasms,
UConn.
maybe.
Yeah, right. But I think at some point, to me, I guess if you're winning, great. But to me, I don't know how, as we progress, and Hugs figures out these lineups, I also think this scoring contribution has to middle out a bit too, right? I'm sure Taz is going to lead scorers on the team, but this game, Bellarmine, a couple of these games lately, it has just felt like it's all on Taz.
Yeah, it's a Taz Sherman show.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, we won't win very many games if you look at our points per game and it's Taz Sherman with 25, and then the next highest guy is at 6 or 7.
Right.
We're not going to win games. You almost need a 1-2 punch, a 1-2-3 punch. Typically, the good teams have 2 guys that are scoring 15 or more, and then a third guy that's around 10 to 15.
Yeah, Radford. So Radford box score. Taz goes for 27. Paulie Polacap, your next highest at 7
in 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think though that's a hard one to talk about, just because Huggins was throwing everybody out on the court. I mean, we've seen
that's true.
McNeil had double digits, Curry's had a double digit game. I think for me the bigger concern is that outside of McNeil, you would hope that Jalen Bridges would start to score more because he hasn't been, and that's kind of an issue. If JB's only averaging 6 or 8 points a game, that's not going to work for WVU going into conference play.
Yeah, and I agree, and he's only getting up like 3 or 4 shots a game. That's the other thing. Like, I get it if you have an off night, but he's not getting a whole lot of shots up to begin with.
What if I tell you, to me, Jalen Bridges right now, and I don't know, I'd have to look, but isn't it odd that his career path right now at WVU seems to be mirroring Emmett Matthews' career path? All right, couple of good games, couple of games where you don't see him, couple of good games, and they're very similar sized guys. I just think there's a lot of similarities between Jalen Bridges and Emmett Matthews.
Is that because of the way you think he's being used on the court, or do you think that's just because of the way he plays?
I think maybe a little of both, obviously. I think maybe it's the way they rotate that spot. Now, I realized last year Jalen Bridges and Emmett Matthews a lot of times played at the same time, but it's odd. It just, to me, is kind of odd that, and I'll throw another guy, and I know Johnson doesn't like talking about this because the potential was there, but Issa Ahmad, similar sized guy. So is that a thing where we struggle with those guys that are 6'7", 6'8", fairly lanky in the sense that, not really a power forward per se, so a perimeter guy. I don't know. It's just kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I'm waiting on JB to have an explosion here. I'm still in his corner. I know Guido is because he's a polar bear.
Right.
But the other thing I thought was odd, did you guys think it was peculiar that, like, I'm a Kobe Johnson fan. I am. But I was still surprised that he got the nod for the start here. Now, again, I know it's Radford. Like, I'm not reading too far into a Radford game, okay? Don't get me wrong. But still, I think a lot of the scoring complement in some of these other games has been Malik Curry. And I'm also a Malik Curry a Malik Curry fan. So I think it was odd. I thought maybe we'd see Curry in, and we got Kobe Johnson.
I'm going to guess maybe that's a message.
Could be, yeah.
That is a coaching message. Like, hey, I don't care that you led Old Dominion last year. I don't care that you had 15 points last game. This guy's working harder than you right now.
Yeah. You know what, Scoot? I think you're Guido. A lot of messages right now.
A lot of
this
messages.
basketball team.
Well, and it'll be interesting because you've got Jamil King, you've got Okonkwo, two guys that probably at the end of the day will redshirt this season. Both of them saw playing time against Radford. Don't be surprised. I guess I'm saying don't be surprised if you don't see those guys on the court again. Maybe one more game between now and New Year, but that might be it for them. And and it would probably be wise at where this team is development wise. It probably would be a good idea to maybe redshirt those two guys and get them ready for next season. But we'll see what happens. WVU plays UConn. UConn comes to the Coliseum on Wednesday. That game is at 7 p.m., and it's on the Deuce, Scoot. It's on ESPN2.
Scoot, how great is that to have UConn coming back in the Coliseum? It just feels good.
Well, yes, and I wish we could do these types of games all the time where we're playing
Me too,
some of these
in a conference called the Big East.
Yes, could we just maybe do like a little side channel Big East? We'll call our non-conference schedule the Big East, and we'll just play that.
Yeah, can we just do that?
Yes, it would be great. So a couple back-to-back televised games where you don't have to worry about paying to watch it. So you've got Connecticut coming in on Wednesday, of course, and then Kent State plays a very odd Sunday afternoon game, a Sunday 4:00 game on the 12th. Game's
getaway
on ESPN.
game. A little getaway game.
A little getaway game. Up against.
Need to get away, Scoot. Do you need to get away?
Do you really need to get away? Up against NFL football. So let's just put a game against NFL football. That game's will either be on ESPN2 or ESPNU. The network has not decided yet, Scoot. They're thinking it's a big decision for them. Yeah, it's a big decision. That West Virginia-Kent State matchup. A couple of other WVU things we should talk about. WVU soccer, Dan Stratford and the WVU men's soccer finally comes to an end in the Elite Eight against Georgetown on penalty kicks. But a good showing for them, a program that's really turned itself around and is growing quickly, Scooty.
Yeah, they kind of, it's like I said, I think I said last show, it's so very odd that Marshall is your defending national champion, and then WVU has a pretty good run. And also pretty odd is that WVU's had some really good teams. A couple years ago, they've had a couple good teams under Marlon LeBlanc, and I really thought that they would get pretty far along in the NCAA tournament with him. And it's great that it's happening to a former player in Dan Stratford, was very successful at the University of Charleston and in his first year here at WVU. Second year. Is this second year? Second year.
Second year.
Yeah, second year at WVU. He's already taking them to places that they haven't been before, so that's great.
Another former Mountaineer, Johnson, a little guy we like to call Deuce, is kind of owning the G League right now.
Yeah, he has been on fire. He's with the Westchester Knicks, the Knicks G League team. He had a highlight-worthy dunk. We'll add that in the show notes a couple nights ago. And then just the other night, he went for 31, 9, and 5 in their last game. So I think if there's a way to catch attention and try to propel yourself up out of the G League, he's certainly doing that.
I think basketball suits him.
Yes.
It's fun. It's super fun to watch. It's fun to watch him in a Knicks uniform. So we're continuing to root for him.
Yeah. It's awesome to see him doing so well. And I hope he has, the G League, although it's been around for a while and they've had different names for it. I like the fact that I feel like the NBA is actually starting to promote it more and to use it more like a minor league, like the minor league baseball system. And hopefully we will see, guys like Deuce get plucked out of there and get a lot of playing time in New York, Scooty.
Yeah, I think it'll be neat, especially with him and Javon in the same city. I think that's pretty neat.
Yeah, it'll be kind of fun to watch. Pat McAfee donated $2 million to his high school alma mater in Pittsburgh, Plum High. Be nice to go there. Maybe they get a nice field or something out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not every day you get as a high school, you get a $2 million donation. I have to think that helps things along, doesn't it?
I think Pat's doing well for himself, it sounds like.
I thought that maybe Johnson, you had donated $2 million to Milton High.
No, I mean, number one, Milton High doesn't exist anymore. And number two, there's the smaller detail of me not having $2 million to give them if they did exist.
Well, then you're not as nice of an alumni as Pat.
I can't rank of what Pat McAfee's doing for his alma mater. That's for sure.
Speaking of high school alma maters, guys, my high school alma mater, Fairmont Senior High School, wins. I know, we could just do a podcast about the Polar Bears. You guys want to just stop talking WVU sports and do?
First, I need to pee and then throw up.
Well, how do you do that? So I think as a 16th seed, that is kind of crazy, right? So Scoot, either someone botched the seeding.
Well, they have a tougher schedule than some of these other AA schools. So because of that, they had some losses. I think they had 3 losses, maybe.
Yeah, I think 3 losses is right, and they were all against AAA schools, I think.
So because of that, and because of their standing, or their record, I should say, they were the 16th seed. I don't know that anyone really felt like they were a true 16th seed, like where they just barely got into the playoffs. So I'm not totally surprised. Fairmont Senior sports here lately has been very good, whether it be football, boys and girls basketball, boys soccer has been very strong. So Fairmont's done really well athletically here in the last, I'm going to say 10 years for sure. Yeah,
the Polar Bears win 3 of the last 4 state championships in AA for football. So, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong, Scooty. I mean, that 16 seed was I think a way of maybe the SSAC making it a little tough for them to get through the playoffs. Maybe that's what it was, all those road games they had to play. I don't know. So congratulations to them. And hey, if you guys hadn't heard, NCAA has decided they are completely all-inclusive, and they'll just let in everybody. Like if you are bowl eligible, you get a bowl this year, because they're just going to add a bowl. So let's just, hey Johnson, I feel like let's add a bowl. So that's what they did this year. They added a 42nd bowl to the schedule.
Yeah. So and it's in Texas, Scoot. You'll be happy to know that, because everything we talk about now is in the state. Like, the state of Texas needed another bowl, right? This one allows Hawaii to get in the mix. Hawaii is 6-7, so technically they have their 6 wins. But they're going to play Memphis.
This is probably the first time that Hawaii has not been invited to their own Hawaii Bowl, so that's probably like crap.
Right, right.
Because when was the last time Hawaii played in a bowl not in Hawaii?
Well, this allows all did you realize this? All 84, so this is the 42nd bowl, all 84 bowl eligible teams to play. So it's stupid. I know we go all over the place with our opinions on football and stuff, but like, not to sound like cratchety old football fans, but like in 2021, saying you're bowl eligible is not nearly as big of a high five to the guy beside you as it used to be like 30 years ago, right? When you said you became bowl eligible. I feel like it's a whole different feeling these days.
To me, it's almost as if the NCAA is saying, like somebody's complained and said, you know what, we would really like that extra 4 or 5 weeks of practice like some of these other schools are getting. And it's not fair to us that we had 6 wins and we don't get to have those weeks of practice. So can you do something to help us out? Otherwise, we're going to raise a really big fuss that all these other teams and we're being left out. And that's what it feels like. Like it feels
dumb. Like on Oprah, they're like, you get a bowl and you get a bowl and you get one.
Scooty, Hawaii has played in 14 bowl games in their school history. 11 of which have been the Hawaii Bowl, or the Aloha Bowl, or the Oha Bowl, a bowl in Hawaii, we'll say. So, they tend to play in Hawaii a lot. I think
that's like if Boise State were to only play in like that Boise Blue Turf Bowl or whatever they call it.
It's absolutely true. Well, listen, guys, let's take a break. We're going to come back with the #1 game show on a West Virginia University sports podcast, a little game we like to call Bluff the Fluffs. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Got Your Eers On.
Vortec Knives is a West Virginia owned and operated company specializing in high-quality steel, fast-opening, everyday carrying knives. If you go to vortechknives.com today and use the code GYEO, you get a 25% discount on your entire order. That's Vortech, VORTEK knives.com, a West Virginia owned and operated company specializing in fast opening, high quality, everyday carry knives. Vortec Knives.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Got Your Ears On. Guido here along with Scoot and Johnson. And hey, listen, don't forget, find us on the social medias. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Just look us up. We're at Got Your Ears. You can also search for us on Facebook. Just search Got Your Ears On. Well, guys, it's time for the #1 game show on a West Virginia University sports podcast. It's a little game we like to call Bluff the Fluffs. And we're back this week. Intern showed up, did his job, guys.
He's back on track.
I still don't have hot coffee, so let's just pump the brakes a little bit.
Clone Dog, if you're listening, I never had doubts.
That's not what he's saying when the mic's off.
Yeah, right. During the commercial break, it's not what you said.
Full confidence.
Anyways, Cloney did a good job. Wrote a very fine Bluff the Fluffs for you guys this week. Scooty won last week on Jarrett Dagey trivia, and so now
I know my boy.
Yeah, Scooty knows his boy, and Scooty right now has the lead, 13 games to 12 over Johnson. Only a few weeks left, so I don't know. I mean, Johnson, you better gear up.
We can do that. Yeah, okay. We can do that. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Well, let's see how you do this week, guys, because we are doing Bluff the Fluffs on college bowl games. So see what you know about some college bowl game history here.
All right.
As always, don't forget, a correct answer is worth 5 points, a steal is worth 10 points, and final bluff is worth 25 points. Before we started, we had a complete and total random flip of the coin, and Scooty, you get to go first this week.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, he says. All right, here we go. Question 1 is to you, Scoot. In 1964, West Virginia University and the University of Utah made bowl game history when they did this. Was it A, the first ever bowl game to end in a tie, B, the first bowl game to be played indoors, C, the first bowl game between schools located more than 2,000 miles apart, or D, the first bowl game to be played at night?
I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm going to go on a guess. and say the first bowl game played indoors.
That's a good guess. Scooty gets it right to start off. Yes, the first ever bowl game to be played indoors was West Virginia University against the University of Utah in 1964. Scoot, good job.
Thank you.
I wonder if they played in like
The Astrodome is what I was thinking, but I know that wasn't the right time.
No, I was thinking if it was something weird for the time, like when we played that basketball game in a ballroom beside a K&W.
You think like a roller
That's
rink?
still one of my
Yeah,
favorite.
like something weird indoor.
You're not far off, Johnson. It was at Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City. So it was
See?
it was sort of in a non-football arena.
Like you throw the ball too high, Scoot, and it hits a rafter or
Yeah,
something.
probably did,
you know?
yes.
Yes.
I would say hardwood floors.
Yes. So not too far. By the way, West Virginia lost. That was the Liberty Bowl, by the way. And West Virginia lost that game 32-6 against the Utes. So like Utes.
The Utes.
The Utes. All right. So congrats, Scoop. 5 points goes to you. Correct answer. And Johnson, this next question is to you. Florida State holds the record for the most consecutive bowl game appearances, which is how many? Is it 23, 26, 31, or 36 consecutive bowl game appearances?
Consecutive appearances. I'm going to say 23 consecutive bowl games.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Scooty for 10 points in the steal. 26, 31, or 36?
I feel 31 is the correct answer.
I'm sorry. It is 36 consecutive bowl game appearances. So nobody gets
Impressive.
any points on that one. All right, here we go. Next one is back to you, Scooty. West Virginia University has played in 38 college football games. What is their overall record?
Bowl games?
Bowl games. In bowl games, yeah. Is it 20-18, 14-24, 16-22, or 18-20?
I am going to say 18-20.
Sorry, that's incorrect. Johnson for 10 points and the steal. Is it 20-18, 14-24, or 16-22?
I'm going to go 16-22.
That's correct for 10 points and the steal right there. West Virginia is 16-22 in bowl game appearances overall. So good job. Good job there, buddy.
Because
Good job.
unfortunately, we had a streak there with Coach Nealon where we lost like 8 in a row, I think, 7 in a row.
From like
unfortunately.
87 to 98, we didn't win a bowl game. We finally won.
Yeah.
2000, we won the Music City Bowl. That was the first time in like 15 years we had won a bowl game.
Okay, right, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. All right. Congrats, Johnson. 10 points. And this next question is back to you. In 1902, the first ever bowl game was played between Stanford and Michigan. What was the name of that bowl? Was it the Weissenheimer Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Coca-Cola Bowl, or the Cotton Bowl?
Weisenheimer feels like a curveball.
That was also your nickname when you were in middle school.
Okay.
Weisenheimer?
Yeah,
you were a
You're a
Weisenheimer.
real Weisenheimer, right? I'm going to go with the Rose Bowl, though, Guido.
That's correct. The Rose Bowl in 1902 was the first ever bowl game between Stanford and Michigan. And Johnson, you get 5 points there and take a lead 15-5 over Scooty. All right, Scoot, this next question is back to you. In 1933, the University of Miami and Manhattan College played in the first ever Palm Festival game, now known as the Orange Bowl. In order to save money on travel, Manhattan College did this. Was it A, agreed to spend 4 days picking oranges for the bowl game's organizers, B, took a 3-day boat ride from Manhattan to Miami, C, sold their school library, like the building, or D, only sent 14 players?
I feel they took a boat.
That's correct. They took a 3-day boat ride from Manhattan to Miami to help save money. A boat is cheaper than taking a plane, I suppose, or a bus.
I
This
guess.
is 1922?
I mean,
I would say probably
I guess.
yes.
Yeah, 1933. I guess it's
33.
I guess a boat would be cheaper. Was it a sailboat?
What do you think they would say if we said, "Hey, look, your new home base is Morgantown, and this is your new conference"? What do you think they would say?
Where's Morgantown?
What if they said to Neil Brown, "Listen, to be traditionalists, we think it'd be best if you went by wagon and horse to Arizona for the guaranteed rate
horse
bowl."
And buggy. We need to save some cash here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Times are tight.
Like if it really happened.
All right, congratulations, Scooty. 5 points gets you 10 now, and you're still down 15-10. Johnson has the lead, but we still got questions left, including this one. This is the last one, Johnson, before Final Bluff. So this one's to you. Name the school with the most NCAA college football national championships. Is it Alabama, Princeton, Notre Dame, or Yale?
Ugh. This is tough, Scoot. I never know how to answer these questions. Most national championships. I'm going to say, total guess, Yale.
That's correct. Yale has the most national championships, more than Notre Dame, more than Princeton, and definitely more than Alabama.
So that means they got a lot of work done prior to like the common era or whatever I'd want to say, right?
Yes.
I mean, like,
Yes.
they got a lot of work. They got a lot of work done pre-World War II, maybe.
Yeah, they were
Right.
they were pre-World War II. They were a football juggernaut before 1955, and then kind of went downhill. I guess they decided as a university to start focusing on academics, is what I hear.
Yeah,
So
crazy
that it is.
Or maybe some of those other academic institutions decided to start focusing on football.
Which is probably more likely. Which is actually
You know
probably
what? We're
more
not good at this academic stuff. Let's try this football.
All right, correct answer there for Johnson gets him 5 points, and he holds the lead 20-10 going into Final Bluff. Well, guys, as always, Final Bluff is worth 25 points, and we ask you guys to buzz in for the answer. Scooty, you tell us our buzzer. What you got for a buzzer? Hey, Scoot, what's your buzzer?
Bing bong.
All right, Scoot's still bing-bonging his way through. Johnson, what do you got for a buzzer this week?
I'm gonna go Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. George, are you a Georgia fan now? Is that what this is?
No, we talked about the Polar Bears. Martinsburg won their 9th state title this weekend. They took down the Highlanders.
I see. So we go Bulldogs. All right. So a little bit. Look at Johnson and I. We have a connection to high school football. We like West Virginia. Some West Virginia.
I
high school
do.
football.
I fancy it. Yes. I like it.
All right. Here we go. Final Bluff. 25 points. You guys got to buzz in to get the right answer. Of West Virginia's 38 bowl appearances, what bowl have they played in the most? Is it the Liberty Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Gator Bowl, or the Sugar Bowl?
Bulldogs.
Bing bong.
Man, you guys, every week now we're getting close. We have to go back to the instant replay here, see what we find out. I got Johnson. Johnson, you came in first this week on this one.
All right.
Johnson, so what's your guess? Liberty, Peach, Gator, or Sugar?
I'm going to go Gator.
That's correct for 25 points and the win. The Gator Bowl 7 times. 7 times West Virginia has played in the Gator Bowl. Peach Bowl is a close second with 4 times in there. So that's a lot of Gator Bowls there, Johnson.
It's a lot of trips to Jacksonville, Scoot.
Yeah, a lot of Florida Bowl games.
And most of those have been most of those Gator Bowls have been aren't most of the bowls in Florida anyways, Florida or Texas or Arizona. Most of those Gator Bowls have been since like 89. Like a lot of them have been since 1989.
Well, I know one was like 82, a few in the 80s. I think most recently we got beat up by Maryland.
2010 was the last time we were in the Gator Bowl. That was against the Seminoles.
Florida State. Yeah, that was Bobby Bowden's swan song, right?
Yes,
Didn't he?
yes, it was.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. So, but Johnson, congratulations. You win 45-10 over Scoot and tie it back up coming down to the home stretch here. 13 games apiece. Scooty, are you nervous? Only
No, come on. The only way I'm nervous is if Cloney continues to skew the questions towards Johnson.
Good job, Clone.
I'm just saying there's only 3 more Bluff the Fluffs left. So
Cloney, my coffee is getting cold.
you just going down to the wire here, guys, keeping it close. There's no definite winner. So we'll see what happens. Well, listen, guys, let's take a break. We're coming back with a segment we haven't done in a while. It's a segment where we let Scooty play on the internet. We like to call it, I Can't Believe My Eers. So don't go anywhere. You're listening to Got Your Eers On.
Tactical Legion Knives, a West Virginia owned and operated company that specializes in heavy-duty tactical knives and gear for the professional warrior, the weekend warrior, and the outdoor warrior. Our products are built tough. For who? For warriors. Hey Mountaineer fans, make sure you go on Amazon and search Tactical Legion Knives, and when you do, make sure you put in the promo code 25TOBRADIO for Top Radio. You'll get 25% off on Tactical Legion Knives.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Got Your Eers On. Guido here along with Scoot and Johnson. And hey, listen, don't forget, check out our website. It's kind of like the hub of everything about us, right, Johnson?
It is the hub. You can go to gotyourearson.com and find the latest blog post with all the show notes of stuff we talked about on this week's episode. You can also click the tune in link right in the sidebar to start listening to the show. And don't forget, we're still selling Pullover Guy shirts if you click through to the merch store, and part of your purchase is donated to the Hugs Fish Fry. So don't forget that. Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. GotYourEarsOn.com. Pick up your Pullover Guy shirt or your Neil Lasso shirt, one of those shirts. And everything sold, $3. Everything, no matter what it is. Buy a sticker, buy a shirt, buy a pint glass. $3 gets donated to the Bob Huggins Fish Fry. So check it out. GotYourEarsOn.com. Well, we haven't done this in a while. So he probably has a lot to get off of his chest and talk about. We let Scooty go out on the internet. He finds something interesting and he brings it back to us. And it's a little segment we like to call, I Can't Believe My Eers. What do you got for us this week, Scooty?
Okay, fellas, this story hits a couple of areas that are close to home for you guys.
Okay.
Both of you now, maybe not so much you right now, Guido, but both of you are cat lovers.
I mean,
and cat owners, right?
I think we should qualify this. I'm currently not a cat owner. The cat died. Not necessarily a cat lover. Everybody else in my family is. I don't necessarily love the cats. They're
I
just
love
there.
my cat.
Johnson's a cat lover. Okay, so maybe
I
this
love
is
my cat.
This story might be more in line. Johnson might feel a kinship to the person I'm about to talk about.
Let the record show, Guido, that I have now been set up properly for whatever is to come.
Okay,
there's a big cat lady joke coming.
Now, both of you guys recently have flown, right? You're both on airplanes here recently.
Right.
Have you ever traveled with a pet on a plane?
No, I have not.
I have not either.
I have
experience. Yes,
I have, and it's very odd.
It was you felt like it was a delight. Right?
It's very, I don't know if I felt it was a delight, but it was very strange. Like to carry an animal onto a plane and walk around. It was a very small dog. And to have to like stuff the dog below the seat in front of me.
You put it in your, I'm assuming you put it in your man bag.
No, it was a carrier, a airline approved carrier. So not in my man bag.
All right.
Is it Vera Bradley? Was it a Vera Bradley?
Listen, the story is getting off track here, fellas. The story is here recently, a lady on a Delta flight was traveling with a pet. This happened to be a cat.
Okay.
And mid-flight, she began to breastfeed her cat.
What? Hold on.
What now?
Wait, what?
And refused to stop after getting
caught. This is not possible. This is not a true. This is made up. There's no way.
I mean, I know you guys are cat lovers. Is this something you guys would be willing
Johnson,
to
have you ever breastfed your cat?
What is it, Scoot? I have nipples. Would you milk me?
Could you milk me? Yeah, just his little. Anyway,
I'm so disappointed that
between,
people listening
Syracuse, New York, and
cannot see your hand motions of like wink, 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 like milking a cow. I'm so sorry people can't see that in real time.
I was playing out the Gaylord Fokker role of by Ben Stiller.
Yes.
Anyway, Syracuse, New York to Atlanta, Georgia, a Delta flight. You guys don't fly Delta, do you?
Not now. Definitely not now. They won't let you breastfeed your cat on that airline.
We should have known they were from Syracuse, though, right? We should have known.
Do you think that that's a cat friendly area?
Well, why? I have so many questions. I'm hoping you're going to answer a few.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, just why?
Oh.
What?
I'm gonna guess it was thirsty.
Okay.
I don't know.
What kind of cat was it, Scoot? Do we know the type
a hairless
of cat?
cat? I believe the cat was a hairless cat.
That makes it weirder. I didn't think it could get. I didn't think that part could get weirder, and you just made it
here's
weirder.
A quote. I guess this was a TikTok. Somebody put it on TikTok, but this woman had one of those like hairless cats swaddled up in a blanket so it looked like a baby. Her shirt was up and she was trying to get the cat to latch, and she wouldn't put the cat back in the carrier, and the cat was screaming for its life.
I'm now going to be looking this up on TikTok. I know where this is going. This is gonna be one of those things where I'm like, this can't be real, and then I'm gonna find it.
And then, of course, this TikToker, this witness said, "What does she do at home if she's doing that in public?"
Right.
That's crazy.
Security met the flight and told her that she couldn't do that because it was weird and gross.
Is this illegal? No, it's just weird and gross,
weird.
and you have to stop.
What's the weirdest thing you guys have ever seen on a plane?
Well, do you know what, Scoot? It makes me wonder though. The next time I'm on a flight, am I gonna get the like, here's where the exits are, the aisle will be lighted, and oh, by the way, don't breastfeat your cat. Like, am I gonna get that now in the pre-flight?
Southwest might give you something like that. They give you kind of a strange flight attendant speech,
right? Yes.
I've been on some strange flights. Most of my stories, though, of like strange occurrences tend to circle around strangers completely trying to sleep on me, which I don't appreciate. But I've not seen anything. I've flown one time with a lady who acted as if the plane was going to plummet into the Atlantic Ocean, even though we weren't going over the Atlantic Ocean. She acted as if like the flight was coming to an end and there was like zero problems with the flight, but she was like crying and kind of rocking herself back and forth and talking to herself the whole time. So that was a little odd, but no cats being milked or
breastfed cats.
Well, and
what do you do, Scooty, if you're the person that's sitting and she's in seat 13A.
I think I say something.
Like, do you say something?
I say something. I think I say, first of all, I'd probably say, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" Secondly, I say, "Listen, I don't know what's going on here, but this is not the place. This is not the place."
Like, that is insane. I'd love it. That'd be the best thing if you were right next to the crazy cat.
I mean, maybe I talk to the person across the aisle from me and be like, "Hey,
am
I really seeing what I think I'm seeing?"
You give them like, a little like, "Hey, am I seeing this? Like,
is
you
this
seeing
like
this?
me? Or like, am I delirious?" So nothing weird for you guys on any flights?
No, I think the only, like, I used to fly to Europe a lot, and one time I flew into Vienna, they lost my luggage, and the weirdest thing, they were like, "No, you're fine. We got you covered." They handed me this bag of stuff, like care package. It was one of those Bic throwaway razors that you could shave with like a blowtorch and be better off versus using that. And then a white t-shirt XXX. And they were like, "You're good. That's all you need." And I was like, "What? No, I'm not good. I need you to find my." So that was the only weird thing I can think of off the top of my head. Nothing remotely close to what you just described on a flight. No.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I can't even process in my brain. I mean, I'm sure weird things have happened to me on a flight. I saw a World Series ring once on a flight. That's not that
Nice.
weird though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, nobody doing weird stuff like that, at least. So that's crazy one, Scoot. I hope she, I wonder if Delta, does like Delta not let her ever fly again? Does she get like banned from Delta?
Yeah, do you get put on a list?
Right.
I don't really know the answer to that.
I mean, I feel like that puts you on a no-fly list.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You know, terrorist activities, breastfeeding cat. Those are two no-fly lists.
I feel like it's an AB.
Sleeping on Scooty. That's 3.
Right. Yeah.
So, all right, Scoot. Well, thanks for finding us. Whatever that was, I don't even know. I don't even know how to process that person's issues.
Well, I cannot believe my ears hearing you say that, Scoot.
Right.
Would you say the cat's got your tongue?
Cat's got your.
Ooh, there he goes. There he goes.
Cat's got your breast. Is that what you would say?
As they say in Syracuse, cat's got your breast.
As the old saying goes in Syracuse.
Cat won't latch.
That cat won't latch. You know, like that dog won't hunt. Yeah.
When somebody says that dog won't hunt, in Syracuse they say that cat won't latch.
That's what we're gonna do now. Like that won't work. That cat won't latch.
Oh man. That's hilarious. Well, listen, guys, thanks for listening this week. WVU Basketball has 2 games this week. Wednesday against Connecticut at 7 p.m. in the Coliseum. That game is on ESPN2. And then an awesome Sunday 4 p.m. game against Kent State, also in the Coliseum. That game is also on ESPN2. So definitely get a chance, check it out, watch that WVU Basketball. And congratulations to WVU Football going to the Guaranteed Rate Bowl against Minnesota December 28th at 10:15 p.m. kickoff time. So make sure you let Grandpa take a nap during the day so he can watch the game. And we'll break that down along with other things next week. And hey, we might even bring on a special guest from Minnesota to help us understand what a Golden Gopher is. So I think we can make that happen, right, Johnson?
Yeah, booked and confirmed.
All right, well, listen, we'll be back next week with another show. Thanks for listening, everybody. Don't forget, find us online. Look for us on Instagram or Twitter. You can find us at Got Your Ears. You can also search for us. We're on Facebook, too. And check out our website, gotyourearson.com. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next week. You've been listening to Got Your Ears On.